the outcome of Trump's Senate trial a foregone conclusion? Which countries will vaccinate their entire eligible population first? Will global institutions ultimately embrace or reject cryptocurrency? We'll have that conversation on today's show because this is the Big Three Global Edition. On Fridays, we try to allow Nigeria rest a bit and we take a look at the biggest stories in the entire world. Sometimes, though, the big stories are still Nigerian stories or they still affect Nigeria. Donald Trump is on the scene again. He's on trial in the U.S. Senate again. He's being impeached by the House of Reps again. And that's our first story. We already covered his second impeachment. The lower house believes that then President Trump incited the insurrectionist mob that stormed the Capitol and tried to stop the certification of the presidential election that he lost. And so automatically, the case moved to the Senate for trial. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you are asking whether this trial makes any sense since Trump is no longer president. If the trial were taking place during his term and the Senate were to have convicted him, Trump would have been removed from office. So since he's already out of office, what's the point of trying him? What's the point of trying to convict him? Well, there's a second punishment that the Senate can deliver. If they convict Trump, they can hold a second vote to ban him from ever holding elected office again. This is actually a big deal because Trump is still eligible for one more term as president. He can run again. In American history, only one president has returned to the White House after losing it. Grover Cleveland. That's just some side note for you. He's the reason why Biden is called the 46th president, even though only 45 men have actually been president. They count Cleveland twice as both the 22nd and 24th president. But back to Trump. If he's convicted, he risks losing the right to run for election. That's if it's convicted, though. A big if. He risks losing the right to run again. There are like 100 senators, and to convict him, 2/3 of that number have to vote yes, so 67. The Democrats have 50 senators, the Republicans have 50 as well. So assuming that every Democrat votes to convict, 17 Republicans would have to agree with them. Now, how likely is that to happen? How likely do you think that's going to happen? Now, consider this. Earlier this week, the Senate voted on whether or not to hear the case, and only 5 Republicans voted yes. 5. So, I'm going to leave you to decide if this will work. But the prosecutors are taking the case very seriously. By the way it works is the House of Reps are the ones prosecuting the president, while the Senate is the jury. So the reps have these guys called trial managers, and they've presented the case. They've showed videos of the insurrection. Some of those videos have never been seen before. The videos also had sound, and apparently you hear the insurrectionists talking about what they plan to do to the lawmakers and to the election. And you hear many of them saying that they're doing it because of Trump or because Trump wants them to do it. Funnily enough, even Trump's defense lawyer said that the prosecutors have made a very strong case. In his opening statement, he did not counter their claims. His defense of the former president was that it's too late to try him since he's no longer president. Now, this particular defense sparked a debate. Some are saying it makes sense because he's left office anyway. It's best for the country to move on. Others are saying that former presidents are still accountable for the actions they took in office. And part of accountability is trial and punishment. The punishment of banning from future office can be administered at any time. So that's the argument on both sides. I'll also want to know what you think. Now, of course, there are those who say that the Democrats know that they cannot get the votes to convict, and they're only doing this to score points for 2022 and 2024 election cycle. Basically, the argument is the Democrats will use what happened in the trial to campaign against Republican senators who refuse to convict. But if you think about that argument, if that argument is true, doesn't that imply that the trial is popular with the American people? After all, if the American people do not want the Senate trying Trump, why would Republican senators be afraid that voting to save Trump would get them in trouble with the voters? 0700-993-993-993. Have you been following the trial? What do you think about the trial? Do you think a conviction is possible? Is there a point to it if a conviction is not possible? Do you think Trump should be banned from future office? If you've been watching the trial so far, what do you think? And what do you think about Trump's lawyer saying that the prosecution has made a very good case? 0700-993-993-993. Everybody gets 2 minutes to make their point and keep it moving. Victor in Victoria Island, hello. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I think Trump lawyers have said that he did not cost anything, that he did not tell people to go and do something at the Capitol Hill. And that was the truth they said. But I don't know why they want to play politics with the truth. If Trump have not done anything, I want to ask: are Americans deaf and dumb? Are they pushed around? They said this is that their mandate was taken from them, and they went to protest against it. And they said Trump sent them. How can Trump send people? Yes, he can influence people, but he never sent anybody to go and destroy anything. Let me tell you, the Democrats hijacked that protest and did what they did and turned everything to Trump. Why are they? Why did they want to try and remove him or to try and stop him from running for future election? Why? Because they are afraid of him. Why? Because the power that be, those selfish people that want to destroy America, don't want him to come back, because when he comes back, he will deal with them. So I don't know. I don't understand when people they see somebody that wants their interest at heart and they choose to go the other way. They voted Joe Biden. Let us see what he will do.
All right, Victor. Thank you very much for sending for giving us a call. All right, then 0700-993-993-993 0700-993-993-993. You can also send your thoughts to us via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. Toyin is in Ogun State. Hello, Toyin. Thank you so much for calling us.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well. Good afternoon.
My only comment is that last speaker, that first speaker, he is a Nigerian indeed. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon, Toyin. I don't know what that means. 99.3, hello.
Yes, Sandra, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the show.
Yes, my name is...
Welcome, Calvin. Go ahead.
Yes, first of all, I'm excited that at least the world has had a bit of some sanity now. And we can now see purposeful leadership across the world, especially the United States, which most of us copy as a symbol of democracy. You know, Trump, as he has been taxed, is an inciter in chief. And I stand by that, and I believe those that have tagged him as that is also a divider in chief. He has succeeded in misleading lots of people across the world, both the evangelicals and the common people. And that's why when I heard some comments, I just laughed. This was a man who incited the people, who told them, let us go there, march there, and bring the walls down. He said it several times. He said it more than 6 times that day. And even before the insurrection took place, he tweeted. Thank God he has been banned from Twitter, because only God knows the kind of incitement that will have been thrown out there to confuse people, because this man has the capacity to deceive a lot of people, and he has done that. Because if he has not done that, I don't see why almost $20 million will be raised again for him, in future elections. So he incited the insurrection. His vice president was in the building. He did not care about that. Even those that persuaded him, that urged him on to progress in error, the likes of Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Mitch McConnell, and the other man, Lisa Graham. All of them were there. He did not care about that because he's a man that is self-centered. He thinks about himself. He did not care that those people were there. He said, let's make sure that those people went there and caused that insurrection and loss of life and properties happened in that place. So I'm happy that this is happening. There's nothing the lawyers can do. The videos are clear. The evidence are clear that he incited the people. There's nothing he can do. The impeachment to continue to take place. He has gone down in history as one of the worst presidents of America that has been impeached twice. So it's going to happen because the Senate, the Democrats has the numbers. I know the vice president will make up the numbers. And he will never, such a man should never near the public office again.
Well, they still need they still need the other side to vote. They still need at least 17 people to vote from the Republicans. So they may not be able to convict.
No, what the Republicans have, the Democrats have the numbers.
Yes, they do, but they need 17 Republicans so that they can have 2/3. That's the only way they can convict him and make sure he doesn't run again.
Well, for what we have seen so far, some Republicans, at least 10 Republicans, if 10 Republicans from the House of Reps.
Only 5.
I know, but 10 has already joined from the House of Reps.
But it's the Senate that will
yes,
convict.
I know. So if 10 can do from that, I know that they will get the numbers from the Senate. Okay. He will be indicted. The videos are clear. The evidence are clear. He incited the insurrection.
Kevin, thank you very much for